this time we're going to create a Von Koch snowflake, and we're going to use the tool that we used in our Von Koch classic curve. So we'll have that file open with the Von Koch classic curve, and we will go under File, New. We'll get rid of our grid. We want to start with an equilateral triangle. So we'll go under Polygon, and we want a regular polygon. Regular means the sides are the same, right? So we want 3. Let me go back to Select, and I'm just going to shift it around a little bit. I'll have to use one of the blue ones. There, I like it straight. Now, on the sides of this triangle, we're going to apply our tools. First, we will use the Vk1 tool. We would like this side to come up like this. So if we do Vk1, and we have to watch, I might get it backwards. I got it backwards. Alright, so you can do Control Z to get it off, or you can use the undo right here. So what I need to do is watch my direction. So I'll make sure I'm applying the right tool. I'm going in this direction, and so I'm putting my points around it. Now let me go on around the triangle. And let's see, move it out a little so you can see the whole thing. Now in each of these sections I'm going to apply my VK2 polyline. So right now what I have on there is a stage 1. Remember, the VK2 polyline gave us a stage 4. So if we have a 1 and we put a stage 4 on that, that should give us a stage 5. So we'll go around, and again I have the wrong direction. So Control Z, this way. So I'm just going all the way around. It's starting to look like a snowflake. Very good. We have the outside of the snowflake now. Let's turn this triangle off to get it out of the way. So if we just click on it and show object, then it's out of our way, and now we can put in the interior of the snowflake. For these, we will just go between these 2 points, and we're going to use our VK2 polyline tool. You're going to have to watch your direction so that it will go in the right way, and I did it backwards. So Control Z or undo, and we want to go counterclockwise. So that looks correct, and we'll go around. And we have a snowflake. Let's see if we can clean it up a little bit. So if we would like to take the points off, let's go in our algebra window and select those. Show object, our points are off. So we have a snowflake. We would like to color it some. What you will notice as you look in your algebra window when we pick out what to select is that we have so many polylines and we don't know which is the outside and which is the inside. So what I'm going to suggest is that we go back and we take off part of what we put on. Now the easy part that we put on was the interior. So what if we go back and delete it Okay, I didn't mean to do that. Inside. I will be careful where the mouse is. Notice I couldn't just turn these off. They would still be hard to select if I turned them off. So I'll delete them and then we'll put them back. But let's go ahead and color this outside, and then they'll be colored over on the side. That'll make it easier to see. So we will select it all, do Object Properties, and it's selected there. And notice they're highlighted here. And let's change the color. So let's make this a nice bright pink. And style is okay. We're good there. Alright, so that's our exterior. Now we need to put our interior back, but we need those points on there to put our interior back. So we want to show our points so we can tell where to put the interior. And now we will use our tool. So you should be getting very good at this by now. We're going to do the Vk1 polyline tool on the inside. And we had to go counterclockwise, right? To get it in the right direction? Yes. So now we'll put our interior on. So now we have our outside and our inside. Let's hide the rest of these points that are showing, and then we'll have a nice snowflake. So we can actually go in our algebra window, and we will click Show Object. Turn those off, and there is our nice snowflake. Now, some other things that you can add to this. You could add a checkbox to turn each thing off and on. Remember our triangle we started with? It might be nice to see that sometimes. And we might like to just see the outside and the inside boundaries. So we can do some checkboxes to turn those off and on. We could also color the interior if we like. Let's start with a checkbox to add our triangle back on. So it is the polygon. If we click on it, we'll see our triangle there. Let's take this algebra window off now so we can concentrate on our picture more. And we will add a checkbox just to turn this triangle off and on. So we'll select it, our polygon. We want to go under this one and choose checkbox. Put it here, and we will say Equilateral Triangle. Do you remember what an equilateral triangle is? Three sides that are equal. And we'll apply that. Now we'll go back over here to our select button and see if our checkbox works. It almost works. It leaves our outline, so we can change the color. Object Properties, so I right-clicked Object Properties, and let's change that line thickness to 0. Let's change the color on that. Let's go with a yellow on that. See how that looks. That's pretty good. We can see the outline. And if we turn it off, there's not one. Alright, so now if we wanted to add checkboxes for our inside and outside, when you think about this, it would have been easier to add those checkboxes as we went. If we had done the checkbox for the outside boundary before we put the inside in there, we could have easily selected, because we could have picked those colored ones out. They're going to be mixed now when we look. But let's go see what we can do. Let's get our view back up for algebra so we can see all of our pieces. And so if we want to make a checkbox for our outside boundary, that is going to be all the pink ones. So the black ones are actually less. It might be easier to do the checkbox there with the black ones. It might be easier to take the black ones totally out and do it over again and do the checkbox. You know, honestly, that would probably be my choice. So I'm going to go that route. So we have done this over and over, but you will learn that kind of your thought process of where you're going later. And it is nice to color things and do those check boxes early. Right, so now we will do a checkbox for this outside boundary. Let's get our algebra window back up there and select. So we want an algebra view. We're going to select all those pink ones. I'm just making sure they're all selected. Looks like they are. I'm going to do a checkbox. And I'm going to just double check I have clicked that. I'm going to re-highlight these in here just to make life easier so it doesn't all show up in the checkbox. We'll do the checkbox right here. Now I have the right things in here that I want and I don't have to sort through them. So I'm okay. I was a little worried with that black. Alright, so this is the outside boundary. We'll apply that. And I can turn this window off. Then I can click here, uncheck it, turn it back on, move the checkbox. I'm holding down the right mouse button to move that. So I have equilateral triangle, I have outside boundary. Now let's put the inside back on. So we need those points again. View, algebra, points. Show object. There they are, our points. So these on the inside, that's where we want to apply our tool. So we're going back to our tools, apply that Vk1 polyline tool. We're going to go which direction? Counterclockwise. And you have to re-hit that one again because it is a polyline tool. Very good. Now we have that back in. Let's take things off and see if we can color this inside boundary and make a checkbox for it without too much trouble. Right, so let's use the checkboxes we have, and maybe first we'll turn these points off. We'll change our view. Turn these off, these off. Now we can select this easily. Let's color it. So let's make this one, a nice blue. That looks like green. Shall we try for blue? That is more green. How about this one? Alright. Style. Thin lines. So that looks good. There's our inside for our snowflake. Now we would like to select that, and let's do a checkbox while we have it before we put the others back on. So we're going to add a checkbox under the slider button. Checkbox. Let's highlight these again so they're the ones that end up in our list. Now it's selected. I'll go ahead and click. See, it's those blue ones or those cyan ones that are in there. That's what I want. So this is the interior boundary. Apply. We'll go back over here to our select button, turn everything back on. I'm going to hold down my right mouse button and move this a little bit so that they line up nicely. And the one other thing that I would probably put back on are the 3 points on the ends of the triangle so that you can move this snowflake around. So let's go back to our algebra view, and we'll turn on our points A and B that are on the triangle. The third point, notice we're not seeing it was C, and it's not in our list. Let's click on this polygon and do object properties. And if you notice on the left, there is a C there. So let's click that because the polygon tool put it in automatically. So let's see now. And now it is showing up. So if we would like to move our snowflake around, we can with one of those endpoints. So now you have made a Von Koch snowflake.